Keep Right with Ralph K. Ginorio. The establishment strikes back. The recent proposal to mandate the teaching of history of Western civilization to every Idaho high school student was killed for the moment by two people. Idaho's Superintendent for Public Instruction, Debbie Critchfield, and Senate Education Chairman Dave Lentz were adamant that any such change not be imposed legislatively, despite the fact that Critchfield herself bypassed the state educational bureaucracy in order to fulfill her campaign promise to require instruction in economic literacy. She now shields her department from unwanted public pressure and ideas from beyond their groupthink. Thanks to her, for now anyway, the bureaucrats are safe and the status quo reigns. The West is unique among all world cultures in developing both industry and inalienable rights. Every American high school student deserves to understand the culture that unifies us all. We do not acquire culture through osmosis. It is elitist to assume that only teens in the best schools deserve to understand their own shared cultural heritage. World history, by any other name, is what has displaced Western civilization since the 1960s. It proceeds from the false premise that we have transcended our Western identity and can become postmodern, post-cultural, global citizens. I decry such utopianism and deplore its deleterious effects on the unity of our culture and the civic education of our young people. America's schools exist to teach American citizens. If we are politically farther apart than ever before, it is because for the past 50 years, schools have de-emphasized that which connects us in favor of internationalist relativism, coupled with a proliferation of identity politics. The effects are inescapable. E pluribus unum cannot work if the unum is constantly eclipsed by pluribus. The real shame is the wretched system of public education that Critchfield and Lent protect, an unholy alliance of teachers' unions, pedagogical theorists, and the credentialed disciples who administer our schools have reshaped every aspect of American education. Everything wrong with the educational establishment is on display here in the Coeur d'Alene, Idaho School District number 271. A year ago, in a series of two springtime elections, many district employees disgraced themselves when they involved students in an adult dispute about school funding. The local educational establishment spread the propaganda of fear. Schools will close. Teachers will be fired. Courses will be eliminated. Sports and activity budgets will disappear. All local voters have to do is fund their levies, supplementing the official district budget, and none of these apocalyptic scenarios need happen. Students and teachers were mobilized to engage in a partisan political campaign. Teachers need not pretend to be nonpartisan. However, to use one's position to exhort students to engage in specific acts of political activism is nothing less than a betrayal of public trust. Far from being rebuked, local voters gave these educational leaders much of the money they wanted. They became stronger than ever. At no time in any of these controversies did anyone within the system seriously propose trimming back the bloated bureaucracy in the district superintendent's office. Were the entire set of assistant superintendents, curricular specialists, media spokesmen, grant writers, conference organizers, and their staffs to be excised to save money, the annual school budget would more than suffice. without levies to give CDA students a fine education. More than this, power would flow back from bureaucrats to school principals, classroom teachers, parents, and students. However, such sanity would rob zealots within the educational administrative system of their current control over agendas designed to reshape the American mind one generation at a time. Now, a year later, once again, we are experiencing a campaign to supplement the district budget with levy monies. Once again, hucksters are beginning to threaten all that is popular in local schools. A 4-day school week is even being touted to sweeten the deal. Consequences to learning be damned. How soon before students spontaneously demonstrate for citizens to once again bend the knee to educational bureaucrats and their pet programs? The educational establishment, being protected by Critchfield and Lent, is exemplified by this local leadership. In its corporate hubris, it has no interest in genuine constructive criticism from outside of its institutional echo chamber. Experts know best, and citizens should be grateful to follow their lead. Only citizen action to impose reform from without can cleanse the Augean stables that American public education has become.